Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode number 23 of our EAFC 26 career mode here with Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga. And after our unbeaten run came to an end at the end of the last episode, we do start this one with a transfer offer for Isaac Hansen Aaron, the young Norwegian from Inter Miami, owned obviously by David Beckham, and we do go ahead and accept that one. Obviously he put a transfer request in at the end of the last episode and we do accept the first offer we have got. So he would, providing he agrees personal terms with him, he will be moving over to America and lining up alongside Lionel Messi. But the first game of the episode is away from home against a decent Stuttgart side, but obviously not in the greatest form. Their manager, from the looks of it, is under pressure, and it was an opportunity to give a debut to our new left back, Tom Roth, the 6'4" giant from Germany in left back, starting this game. Radek Vitek, our other deadline day signing, not making this first team. Obviously, as we mentioned in the last episode, Kohlheim will still be our first choice goalkeeper, but we will definitely look to get Vitek some game time going forward. But it was ourselves who started off better of a side, started with a decent chance early on, but it was saved by the Stuttgart goalkeeper, the ex-Man City player Stefan Ortega, and then from a resulting corner, Shuto Machino couldn't quite put that one in, and the scores did stay at 0-0. But it was Stuttgart who got the best opportunity just after that. Decent curling chance for them, but fortunately for us, it hit the woodwork and did stay out from no danger. But just before half-time, we did manage to take the lead. Bangula with a first shot with his right foot, deflected off the defender, fell back to Bangula, hits it first time with his left foot, and Samuel Bangula carries on his fine form over recent games, and he does get his 5th goal of the season to give us a 1-0 lead against Stuttgart. And then we started off the second half for better of the teams. It's Jens Starger once again, decent shot from about 20 yards out, but Ortega was there, strong arms, and pushed it behind for a corner kick. And then just after that, it was Stuttgart who got a chance, decent shot, but an easy save for Kohlheim in our goal. And then it was all us really, a good ball in there from Schmidt. It hits Terramoffi, falls to Bangula, trying to get a second of the game, but unfortunately did just go wide of a post and he couldn't quite put us 2-0 up. But it was a chance for us to make some substitutions. Schmidt and Alvaro coming off for 2 of our youngsters, Kovic on the right wing and Arda in that central midfield position. So a good chance for those two to come on and continue their development. But then just a couple of minutes later, Stuttgart got another opportunity. It's Demirovic on the right hand side, plays it back to Llewellyn, plays it to Buani. Buani looks to get down the right hand side, decent shot from him, but just wide of a post, fingertip save from Kohlheim to keep that one out. And then it was just all about us defending here. Really good tackle there from our defender, and then obviously we look to break from that one. Bangula plays it into Starger. Starger sees a couple of options ahead of him, looks at Terramoffi on that left hand side. Terramoffi, little pass over to Bangula. Bangula flicks one in. It's Shuto Machino with a header, but a poor header. It was a difficult one from a decent range, and it was easily gathered by Stefan Ortega. And then with just 10 minutes left, like I say, it was all about just keeping this lead at this point and keeping a clean sheet, and Kohlheim does just that. A really good save to tip that one round the post, and obviously the defence and the rest of the team absolutely buzzing with that one. And now obviously we just need to make sure there was no danger from the corner. Ball came in, decent header, but once again straight at Kohlheim to keep that one out and keep the score at 1-0. And then just before the end of the game, good chance for Bangula from a free kick. Unfortunately, a fairly straightforward save from Stefan Ortega. And then they try to break. Tom Roth, the new boy, gets the chance, sees the headlines, gets a shot away with his left foot, but unfortunately blocked by the defender, goes out for a corner kick, and obviously Tom Roth couldn't get a goal on his debut. But it is our goal scorer Bangula looking to swing this one in with that right foot. Decent ball in. Rosenfelder gets the header. It falls to Shuto Machino from point blank range, but a really good reaction save from Stefan Ortega to push that one behind for another corner kick. Bangula this time swings it in once again. Rosenfelder gets a header once again, but unfortunately couldn't do anything with it. And then Stuttgart try and get the break. The ball falls to Roth on the right hand side. He looks to beat his man. He's got Kovic in front of him. He does beat Kovic. Now he's got the new boy in front of him, Tom Roth. Plays it back inside to Keetle. Keetle plays it to Krasazor. Krasazor has loads of options in front of him. Buani picks it up in the middle of the park. Buani's got runners in there. Demirovic gets the ball, fires it on his left foot, but once again Kohlheim wanted keeping that clean sheet intact and pushes it behind for a corner kick. So now it was just, we're in the second minute of added time here of 2, and it was all about just keeping this ball out back of the net. They did manage to hit the crossbar, but luckily not anything more. And then the follow-up shot from Buani luckily just went over the top of the crossbar, and we did manage to hold on for that 1-0 lead, a clean sheet and 3 points to take back to Bremen, and another 3 points on the board to climb us up the table. But we did have some bad news. Jens Starger did pick up an injury, but luckily it was only for 5 days, so he was back sooner than we knew, and he was back in the first team squad. And we did get confirmation that Hansen Aaron has been sold to Inter Miami, so he will be moving in the summer transfer window. But we've got a lot of games in between now and then we do go into the second game away from home once again against Union Berlin, Tom Roth's old side. So his second game for the club is against the club that he joined us from. But aside from that, the rest of the team was probably our strongest team as it stands. And obviously after that 3-0 2-0 win, 3 points in that 1-0 win against Stuttgart. Following that obviously defeat in the end of the last episode, we wanted to carry on our winning form and hopefully continue to climb up the table. It was snowy conditions here in the capital, and we knew it was going to be a difficult game, but we knew it was definitely one we could survive and win this one. If you remember previously, we got an absolutely massive win against Union Berlin in the reverse fixture, and we got off to a great start in this one. Shuto Machino slides in and manages to get to the ball before the goalkeeper and slots that one in to give us a 1-0 lead just 8 minutes into the game, and it's Shuto Machino's 16th goal of the season in just 22 games and continuing his absolutely fine form going into this year. But it was Union Berlin who started getting a few opportunities. Schaefer with a decent shot, but Kohlheim once again showing how crucial he is for us, and good reaction save, tip it around the post for a corner kick. And then it was Union Berlin 25 minutes into this one, get another chance. Lubicic with a shot this time, but once again Kohlheim was there, stretched his arms out and managed to hold onto that ball. But then we really came into the game just a few minutes after that. Bangula plays in Teremoffi looking to continue his fine form since joining us, but a really good fingertip save from a goalkeeper to push it on behind for a corner. And then just before half time, about 5 minutes before the end, Schaefer with the ball in the middle gets a really good shot away, to be fair, from a long range, but luckily for us it just went over the top of the crossbar and behind for no further danger. Then the final chance of the half did fall to ourselves. Bangula plays it in, Starger eventually gets the ball, gets a shot away on his left foot, but a fairly straightforward save for the goalkeeper, tip it out for a corner. Bangula looking to play this one in, as he always does, finds Machino, finds Jens Starger, plays it back out to Visa. Visa plays it in Teremoffi beats his man, gets a decent shot away, but unfortunately straight down the goalkeeper's throat, and no further chances in this half. But in the second half, Union Berlin started off better over two sides. Alex Krau, the ex-West Ham player, did get the shot away, but fortunately for us couldn't get it on target. And then it was a chance for ourselves. Teremoffi into Bangula, straightforward finish, and Samuel Bangula gets his second goal in 2 games and continues his fine form of recent times and gets his 6th of the season. I've mentioned previously that he was playing really well, but his stats weren't really showing it. Now he's starting to get the stats to back it up. But we made a few changes. Stargo and Visa coming off for Bittencourt, and the youngster from Youth Academy, Iden, coming into that right back role this time for Visa. And we did continue our attacks. Kovic with a decent chance, starting from the off in this one, a good shot trying to get across the goalkeeper, but a good save from a goalkeeper to keep that one out. And then just before the end, 10 minutes before the end, Alex Krau once again getting forward, looks to chip the goalkeeper after he came out, but fortunately for us it just went wide of the post and the scores did stay at 2-0. And then just a couple minutes later, Kovic once again, the young Croatian on the right hand side, plays into Moffi, good flick out to Bangula, looking to get a second of the game, but unfortunately just hit it a little bit too hard and wide of the post to keep the scores at 2-0. But a really good victory there and 2 wins in a row, and that was followed up by an international management offer from the Moroccan FA. But like I've said before, we want to concentrate on club football, so we do reject that one. And then we do get an interesting job opportunity from Leeds United. We mentioned a few episodes ago how this is, although we're managing Werder Bremen at the minute, it's possibly not one we're going to stay at forever. We obviously want this to be a manager career, not necessarily a club career, and the Premier League was always one we wanted to get back to after our terrible time at West Ham, if we're being honest. And Leeds was a decent opportunity. I think, to be fair, we will stay at Werder Bremen at least until the end of the season, but we'll see what happens then. It depends basically on where we finish this season, what we've got going into next season and the opportunities available, and then we'll go from there. So Werder Bremen fans, we will stay with you for the time being, but never say never to opportunities. But we did go into the third game of the episode. This time we are back in Bremen, back at home against Wolfsburg, but unfortunately it was the away side who did take the lead in this one. A good first save from Kohlheim, but the follow-up from a difficult angle for Amura did put that one into the back of the net. And then just a couple of minutes later, Wolfsburg did get another opportunity, falls into Chiesa, decent shot, but once again a good save from Kohlheim on that one. And at this point it was all Wolfsburg, if we're being honest. Chiesa picks the ball up on the right hand side once again. They've got a player down injured in the middle of a box, but Kohlheim wasn't distracted and did manage to keep that one behind and push it behind for a corner. But obviously that injury was serious enough for the Wolfsburg player, and he did have to go off with a substitute being made. But obviously we needed to keep our concentration. The corner was due to come in, and the corner did come in from the left foot of Max Arnold. Plays into Koch gets the header, but unfortunately for him couldn't win it. We do try to make a break, but Wolfsburg win the ball back fairly straightforwardly. Plays into Molina, plays into Chiesa, who was vital in this game for them. The attacker, well, we get the tackle in eventually, but it does fall straight back to the attacker, and Wolfsburg did take a 2-0 lead in this game. And it was one that we hadn't really had many opportunities, and if we're being honest, we don't get many opportunities in this game. We're already in the second half. Chiesa's causing us massive problems down the right hand side, using his pace against Tom Roth, who's not the fastest player in the world, and he did manage to get across him, but once again a good save from Cole Hine, and it was another corner. We know we've conceded from a corner already, so we knew we needed to be careful. Some good feet down the left hand side from the attacker. The ball eventually falls its way into Renan Lodi. Decent shot from him on his weaker right foot, but fortunately just sliced it and just went wide of the post. And then it was Wolfsburg once again. Chiesa once again involved, plays into Wimmer. Really good shot, but a really good right hand out from Cole Hine to keep that one behind for once again another corner kick. So once again we needed to make sure we were standing strong in this one. A good header this time, beating the defender, beating the goalkeeper, but fortunately just over the top of the crossbar. Then we knew we had to address that left hand side issue for us, so we did take Tom Roth off for Diego Leon. Diego Leon's got a little bit more pace, and we knew Chiesa was absolutely running this game against us, using his pace down the right hand side, so we knew we wanted to make a change with Diego Leon coming in, and Chiesa nearly caused problems for us once again. Really good ball across the box after using his pace down that right hand side, but luckily for us, Cole Hine managed to put an arm out and keep it on behind him. And from the break, ball eventually finds its way to Machino, but unfortunately the defender was there to block that one and keep it out. And then just before the end, 10 minutes before the end, another good chance for Wolfsburg, once again created by Chiesa down the right hand side, but once again Cole Hine using his reflexes and keeping that one out. And unfortunately we did lose that one, and we did lose it 2-0 and not a lot of opportunity, so really poor game from us overall. So definitely one we need to step up on. And we do get a message after the game from Amos Pieper saying that he is not happy with his limited game time, and also we get another message from Leandro Bittencourt saying that he wants to move because he thinks it's a new time to find a new challenge. So we do accept an offer from a fellow Bundesliga side in FC Köln, £1.4 million. He wants to stay in Germany, and he was more than happy to accept that, and luckily for us there was no issues with the contracts and he did agree a deal. So once again he will be going in the summer alongside Hansen Aaron, so two players already we're losing and one that we'll definitely need to look at replacing going forward. But we do get a message from Julian Malatini wanting to start this game, so we do give him the opportunity. Right back this time, not starting in centre back, which is his preferred role, but he can play on that right hand side, so he does replace Visa for this game, and he does get his wish of starting, so hopefully he can perform well for us and repay the faith that we've put in him and given him the opportunity after he did request it. He's obviously fairly young, he's in his young 20s, and he is an Argentinian international, so he should be a decent player for us, but he's not really had the opportunity at the minute. I don't mean that he's an Argentina international, I mean he's Argentinian, but hopefully he can obviously, he's had up and down games for us really. He's most notably, I remember he gave away a really early penalty against Bochum in one game, but he's had some really good performances as well, so it's good to see him in a new position and hopefully he can perform well. But we came into the last episode of the game away from home against Shuto Mishino's former club, Borussia Mönchengladbach, and it was a game that didn't have too many opportunities, if I'm being completely honest. There was a chance early on for Musa, but it was a good save from a keeper, and then the long shot there from Alvaro on his left foot, but once again a good reaction save from a goalkeeper to keep that one out. And then just a couple of minutes before half time, it's Moffy down this right hand side, plays into Musa, but unfortunately couldn't steer that one on target, and the scores did stay at 0-0 going into half time. And like I say, Musa playing up front in this one, and we have got Terran Moffy playing on the right hand side. But luckily for us, early on in the second half, Musa does repay the faith we have had in him to start this game, and he does manage to get his first goal of the league season this year in his 11th appearance to give us a 1-0 lead. And like I say, it was a game of few chances, so we knew that we had to obviously defend well in this one, and hopefully we could keep hold of the lead. And we had a decent chance there for Terran Moffy, but once again it was a good block by the defender. Then Mönchengladbach started to come into this game a little bit. Stoger plays the ball into Fraulo, decent chance from Fraulo, but a tight angle for him. Hein closed him down really well and did manage to keep the ball out the back of the net. Then from a resulting corner, it's Sturgop who plays the ball in towards Ratu, can't quite get the header, it falls out to Reitz on the edge of the box, looking to beat the defender, gets the ball back into Ratu. Ratu doesn't really look like he knows what he's doing here, plays it in, and he does eventually get the shot away, but luckily for us, Cole Hein once again quick reactions and kept that one out the back of the net. And then with just a minute left, we knew it was all about defending at this point. Ball finds its way into the attacker, decent shot on the turn with his left foot, but Cole Hein once again strong hands and puts it behind for a corner. So all we needed to do now was defend this corner, and we should have the 1-0 victory. The ball comes in, Regani was the target, couldn't quite get the header, falls out to Reitz, plays it back into the attacker, looking to get the turn. We give him too much space in there, plays it back out to Reitz. Reitz looking to beat the man. We do manage to make the tackle, we do get the ball away. Bangula with a little bit of quick feet plays it into the attacker, but fortunately for us, the referee does blow his full-time whistle, and we do manage to keep another clean sheet, and we do get that 1-0 victory, another 3 points on the board to push us up into those European places, and hopefully that can build us possibly for a challenge into the Champions League. And obviously Malatini's really happy he got the chance, and he came to us saying he appreciates us listening to him, so that's a good sign from Malatini, and it's good to obviously keep him happy as well, the player we'll be looking at in the future. But then it was all about looking at the future. A couple more youth academy players have joined the youth team. The first one of those is Rafael Granero, the right back from Colombia, and just looking at his defending, not brilliant stats. So we do put him on the fullback training plan. The next one of those was it was German this time, Christopher Urban, a 63 rated left winger, decent pace on him, 84 sprint speed, 85 acceleration. We do decide to put him on a playmaker training plan due to his passing. Then another German was Jens Riedel, this time a right winger, 17 years old, once again a decent rating on him at 62, not quite as pacey with his acceleration, but we did decide we needed to improve his shooting, so an inside forward plan for him. And then that was the 3 new players to the team, and you can see the rest of the youth academy there. But that is going to bring the episode to an end. We do have another opportunity for management from another Premier League side in Brighton Hove Albion. Let me know in the comments below what I should do at the end of this season, whether I should move on or whether I should stick with Werder Bremen. But as always, if you have made it this far, please do hit that like button. If you are following this journey or you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Take care of yourselves, have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.